Hello, so today we're going to do a head-to-head of two Numbuzin products. This is a K-beauty brand and they specialize in really skincare, and then they have a couple of products that are designed for kind of foundation-based products. So I'm going to be trying both the number 3, which they call the Porcelain Base Skip Tone Up Beige. So Porcelain Base Skip Tone Up Beige is the title, and then it's SPF 50 PA++++. And then this is the Goodbye Redness Derma Tone Up SPF 50 plus PA+++. So this one's got 4 pluses. And they're both the same amount of weight, same price. But what was interesting for me to see is sort of what these are going to do for me in my foundation routine. What they sort of serve as is on days when I don't want to wear any foundation, but I need to have an SPF. That's sort of what they do. Because Korean Beauty is amazing at SPF in their products. And I swatched both of these. So this is the number 3. And as you can see, it's like a very light beige. So I could imagine a lot of people, obviously if you're medium or deeper skin tone, these are not going to work for you. And then this is the number 2 with the green cast. It actually comes out straight up green, and then you have to mix it. There's obviously like a lot of whiteness to this as well, and I mixed it as best as I can, but I think because it's a small area, it's not really breaking up all of the green. But obviously this one seems way sheerer and a little bit more glowy, and this one's got some more depth to it, and it obviously has that green tinge. So I think what I'm just going to do here is do half my face the green and half my face the beige, and we can kind of do a comparison with these two. So I'm going to put the beige one on this side and the green one on this side, mainly because I have this pimple here and I want to see if it can kind of tone down the redness of that pimple at all. But I have higher hopes for this one because the green ones, you never know. I don't really love the idea of having like a super green cast to my foundation. So this shade is really like, if you can see it there, a light beige is a good description. I wouldn't call it a porcelain, but I know they call it like porcelain base touch up. Maybe they're referring to porcelain like a porcelain doll and not porcelain the shade. Okay, so we're gonna use our finger for both of these. I mean, for most BB creams, I apply with my finger. It's kind of what I do. It has a nice smell to it. It definitely smells sort of like skincare. Very light coverage. I'm trying to see how it's looking in my pores. It's sitting really well, actually. I'm going to do half my nose. It is giving like quite a glowy look, at least for me, on my dry skin. Okay, we're going to add a little bit more because that little drop didn't go as far as I thought it would. Okay. I definitely think it's a good color match for me. I even think that this one's doing a good job of kind of getting rid of a little bit of that redness, as you can see from the side that has it and the side that doesn't. I know this brand is quite popular in Korea right now. Okay. So it doesn't really seem like it can knock out at all my like melasma. I want to put it under my eye just to see if it gives any coverage under there. So this is quite nice. This looks very believable, skin-like. It has a really silky texture and a little bit of a shine. I actually don't think it's giving much coverage at all. Almost none, like, because everything is still sort of peeking through, but it is giving like a really nice sort of sheen to my face and just makes my face look a little bit more perfected than this side. So hopefully that's coming up. It just looks a little bit more glowy, a little bit nicer than the other side. Okay, so let's go to the other shade, which is the Tone Up 2, and see what happens here. I think with this green, you're going to see this is going to be interesting. It's like legit green. I'm going to try and use this lightly, and this is probably going to require a bunch more rubbing because it is that green that has to transfer to the beige shade. I think that really only does that when you rub it. This one is a much thicker texture on the skin. This one is much more silky and smooth. This one is giving me like a little bit more, I don't know if it's more coverage, but it's harder to blend, and the blend seems really important with this product. So I think between this side and this side, this one has more of a cast going on than this one. And it doesn't look like, I know it obviously has the green cast to it, but it looks like more of the white base is what I'm seeing in it than a cast of the actual green. So I hope that's showing up. Sometimes when you try Korean beauty, like BB creams, they'll have that white cast to it because they'll call them like whitening BB creams, and they'll just have an intense like white base. Trying to see, they both look good on my forehead. I need to add a little bit more here. I don't know what's happening in the middle here. It's just not that much coverage for some reason. Okay, I'm not loving how this green one is looking in between my eyes. Sometimes those are a spot that's a spot that can like gather product, and it's kind of doing that there. Okay, I'll see if I can cut down any of the redness around this. So I think it cut a little bit, but it's obviously not taking down all of the redness of that pimple. You hear my daughter and the puppy running around outside. Okay. Alright, so let's do the comparison of these two. So I personally like the side of the number 3 much better than the side of the number 2. Now I wanted to see about the number 2 because I wanted to see if it would take down some of the redness, and it looks like it did, right? But it looks to me like there's sort of a cast of white that's sort of left behind with the number 2. I thought it'd be more of the cast of the green, but it really does look like there's sort of a paleness coming through on this side that is not on this side. This side is not sitting in my pores strange at all, and it's just giving this overall nice glow, which for my drier skin type is super nice. It's what I'm looking for. This one is sort of settling in some of the texture on my cheek. You can see that. Now I'm not sure if that's because I'm doing all this rubbing to break up the like green pigment, so I don't know if that rubbing motion is what's sort of creating that texture in there. It did okay with my pimple, but it just seems like this is really more for giving like an overall a little bit brightening effect. I don't know, see, I wonder if it's more gimmicky, if it's actually the white base that's kind of just neutralizing some of that red, or if it's the green. And I don't love that you have to spend a little bit more time rubbing that side than you would this, because that went on very easily, very nicely, I think, the number 3 side. So I think this one is going to achieve what I want on days when I really don't want to wear any foundation, but I want some sunscreen. I think that this will be the product that I'll be using. And I think that this one is nice, but I don't like how much thicker it is than the number 3, and I don't like that it's sort of settling into some of the pores on my cheeks and in between my eyes a little bit more than the number 3 was. All right, thanks for watching.